You know, all this time I thought utopias were supposed to be fun. Whether we know it or not, the movement to a one world order has been getting stronger and stronger, whether you want to admit it or not. And it appears that there are multiple agendas. They've all kind of lined up. They call it a perfect storm. And the one thing they agree on, we got to change the way we live. And I can tell you right now, you are not going to like it. I want to bring in District Media Group President Beverly Hallberg and the host of Getting Hammered podcast, Outkick columnist and Fox contributor, MK. Let me start, ladies. I got to start with this C40. It's a collection of mayors. Actually, there are 96 cities now. They say they have 20% of the global economy, and they're determined to get the world to net zero, right? So they're at this UN summit that's down here in New York today. They've laid out their goals. No meat, no dairy. You do get 3 new outfits a year, but no private ownership of automobiles. MK, it doesn't appear like we're going to even have a choice in all of this. So how excited are you about this new world order?
You know, it doesn't sound that fun, and I'm definitely going to need more than 3 outfits. That's the first thing. Second of all, look, I think our friends on the left will try to tell you, don't worry about this. This is just a letter. This is just a proposal. These are just thoughts. But these are the stated goals of the mayors of a great many of the world's leading cities. And they brag that, like, we make up a huge part of the economy. That means they have quite a bit of economic power, and these guys have quite a lot of influence. So I would say don't listen to the naysayers who tell you these things will never come to pass, right? Because there are plenty of things that happened during COVID that I thought would never come to pass or be mandatory, and yet became so during that time.
Absolutely. Beverly, they said 3 items, and I'm wondering if you get a pair of socks, does that count as 2? And then you just get one other sock there in just case one of those gets a hole in it.
Well, when I saw this story, I said, I know Charles is going to agree with me that life worth living includes more than 3 outfit changes. I know you like a fun wardrobe. But look, this is where Americans are going to have to make a cost-benefit analysis. I completely agree with Mary Catherine, where we shouldn't be surprised that this is coming down the dock. People have to be willing to say life is worth more than whatever the new latest liberal agenda is. We can still be good stewards and still enjoy life. I'm a firm believer in the God-given right to, eat, drink, and be merry, and that is what many liberals want to take away.
Well, along the same line of thinking, though, I mean, we've got a lot of socialists who've been elected into this country. The mayor of Chicago now saying that he's going to open and operate a store that provides affordable, healthy grocery options. And Beverly, I recall President Biden, when he first got in office, he gave so many press conferences about greedflation and those things, and kind of threatening that the government would enter a number of businesses sort of to combat that corporate greed. You think it ever come to fruition? If so, I'm really worried that it's going to backfire.
Well, it will backfire if it does come to fruition. One of the things these city officials said is that the reason why this is such a great idea is this isn't about making money. Well, I think they should be watching your show, Charles, because then they would realize that making money is important and that it's always somebody's money. This is going to be taxpayer money. And if government is running it, if the incentives for a business to make sure they have good products to customers is removed, what you're going to find out is that this is going to be the DMV version of produce, of a grocery store. I don't think many people are going to want to buy what they're selling.
I don't think so either. Mary Catherine, what about just the growing number of elected socialists in this country?
Well, look, I mean, I think this is what you're going to get with those elected folks. Like, these are their professed views. And I think it's economically illiterate, as Beverly's pointing out, that this is not going to serve people well. And it's yet another classic example of government causing a problem and then claiming it's going to fix the problem, because the government has not been doing its basic functions of keeping people safe and keeping property safe in Chicago. So many grocery stores have fled the scene, Walmarts and such. And as a result, they think, oh my gosh, you know what? We can't do our basic functions, but we'll take on this other function and we'll do that really well. No, they will not. They absolutely will not do it well.
And I also push back about this notion of food deserts. There are some places you can open up a salad bar, and if people don't show up to buy the salads, they're going to go out of business. I mean, some of this is on the potential consumer. Hey, I got a minute to go. I got to go from limited clothing options to unlimited clothing options. The Senate apparently going to no longer enforce that dress code for senators. Now, if you're a visitor, you still have to use the dress code. So, Beverly, the word is most of this is just because of Fetterman, walking around in sweats and hoodies. What do you make of it?
Well, I'm not surprised there's a double standard on what a politician can do and then what the average person can do. But look, I guess the motto, dressing for the job you want, no longer comes into effect. I think on this, it's bad. We don't need to lower the standards in the Senate any longer. And I think this is just disrespectful to their voters. I don't like it at all.
Me either. Hey, Mary Catherine, between the dress codes, These guys trade in the stock market all day. I feel like members of Congress are just not focused on the task at hand, like the reason we send them down there in the first place.
No, this is a problem everywhere. Do the basic functions. And frankly, I do think one of the basic respectful functions, I'm a casual person, but I'm not on the Senate floor all the time. That's one of the places you should make it look good, right? And I would like to point out also, it took from 1916 to 2017, so more than 100 years, to change it so that women could wear sleeveless blouses on the floor of the Congress. And it took 1 year for them to eliminate suits for John Fetterman. Come on, man.
Great point. Beverly, Mary Catherine, thank you both very much. Good stuff. All right, folks, coming up, listen.